holidays are just around the corner, so you know what that means. It's time to spend some money. But do you know which credit card you need to get the best bang for your buck? Let's find out. Welcome back to Tito's Financial Corner, where we talk about credit cards, points and miles, as well as travel. That's right, we're so close to the holidays. Did you know I had to come here and talk about which credit cards you need to get and the best credit cards that you need to utilize for your holiday shopping? Whether it's Navidad, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, New Year's, or any other holiday that's coming up, we'll break down what credit cards you need to look at and what kind of benefits you'll be able to get with these credit cards. We'll break it into different categories where you will have a different benefit or perk with these credit cards, and we'll make sure to touch base on at least 2 credit cards for each category. Now, a quick note before we get on to the credit cards. Technically, there are a lot of other credit cards that you could flip-flop or you could switch for the cards that we're going to mention, but this should at least give you a good baseline to start. First, we're going to go ahead and cover credit cards that will give you an extended period of time where you would not have to pay interest, or otherwise known as a 0% intro annual percentage rate, or APR period. Now, while we always preach on this channel that you need to pay off your full balance every month, we understand that life happens and sometimes you just want to ball out. Sometimes you just want to buy something expensive you might not be able to pay off the following month. So these are some good credit cards that you can look at where you would have a good amount of months where you could pay off the full balance, and at the same time you would not have to pay any interest. Now, a quick note is to make sure that you know the time period where you would have a 0% intro APR and to not carry a balance after that specific time frame. The very first card that we're going to touch on is the Chase Freedom Flex card. There is no annual fee on this credit card. It does offer a 0% intro APR for the first 15 months that you have this credit card on purchases as well as balance transfers. So you can buy your girlfriend or boyfriend a new hot tub and you would have up to 15 months to pay off that full balance before you charge any interest. The welcome bonus on this credit card is $200 or 20,000 ultimate reward points after spending $500 in the first 3 months that you have this credit card. And the multipliers on this credit card are pretty nice, to be honest with you guys. You get 5% back on all travel purchased directly through the Chase Travel Portal. You also get 3% back on all dining transactions, 3% back on all drugstore purchases. So your Rite Aids and CVS pharmacies all over the world, you would be able to get 3% back on all of your purchases. And another highlight of this credit card is that it offers rotating quarterly categories where every quarter you would be able to get up to 5% back on up to $1,500 worth of combined purchases. Now, for quarter 4 of 2023, those categories are PayPal, wholesale clubs, and select charities. The other card on this category would be the Discover It Cashback Credit Card. It does not have an annual fee, just like the Chase Freedom Flex card. It also offers a 0% intro APR for the first 15 months that you have this credit card. And again, that's on purchases as well as balance transfers. And the welcome bonus on this credit card is pretty unique, to be honest with you guys. Discover will match all the cashback that you've earned in the first year. So if you earn $200 worth in cashback, they would match that with their own $200. So in total, you would be able to get $400 back at the end of the first year. Now, again, that amount could be different depending on your spending, but they will match up to 100% of your cash back by the end of the first year. The multipliers on this credit card is that you would get 5% back on rotating quarterly categories, just like the Chase Freedom Flex card. And for Q4 of 2023, those categories would be Amazon.com and Target. And then you would get 1% back on all of your other transactions. This is a great time for you to make my holiday wish come true. And that is for you to hit that subscribe button as well as the like button. The next category would be great no-brainer credit cards. And by that, I mean we're going to go ahead and cover some credit cards where you would be able to get a great multiplier on all of your shopping. Now, these credit cards would offer you a great baseline multiplier. So they might not offer you the highest multiplier on specific merchants or specific spending categories, but you would be able to get more than the 1% or the 1 point per dollar that most credit cards offer. The first credit card that we're going to touch on is the Citi Double Cash card. There is no annual fee on this credit card. It does offer a 0% intro APR, but this is only available for balance transfers. So that's why I did not include this in the previous list. But getting into the multipliers of this credit card, you would be able to get 2% back on all of your transactions. So that's right. If you buy a new refrigerator, you would get 2% back. If you buy a new sofa, you would get 2% back. If you buy a new dog, you would get 2% back. Sorry, Maui. But there's a catch with this multiplier, and that is that you would get 1% back when you make the transaction, and then you would get 1% back when you pay the full balance down at the end of the month. So technically, you do have to pay the full balance down in order to get the 2% back on all of your transactions. But again, if you're already doing that, if you're already paying your full balance every single month, then there should be no issue. And again, you would be able to get 2% back on every single one of your transactions. Card number 2 would be the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. There is no annual fee on this credit card. It does also offer a 0% intro APR for the first 15 months that you have this credit card on all purchases. So this credit card would also fit in the first category as well as this one. The multiplier on this credit card is that you would get 2% back on all of your transactions. And unlike the Double Cash card, you would get the 2% back right away as soon as you make the transaction. So again, with these two credit cards, you would be able to get 2% cash back no matter what transaction you make. Next, we'll cover some great merchant credit cards. Usually, I would suggest to steer away from merchant credit cards and to go directly to bank credit cards, just because you would be able to get a higher multiplier on different categories. Whereas with merchant credit cards, you have to utilize the credit card at that specific merchant in order to get a high multiplier. But these next two credit cards, I would say, would definitely be able to be utilized since a lot of people shop at these two merchants. First credit card that we should mention would be the Costco Anywhere Visa card. This is probably the most well-known wholesale club in the US. And obviously, you're able to buy in bulk, and you're usually able to buy a lot of items, including Christmas shopping, or holiday shopping, or just New Year's shopping. So you would definitely be able to shop for the whole family at Costco. So for that reason alone, we definitely have to include their credit card. There is no annual fee on this credit card. However, you would need to have a membership with Costco in order to get the highest possible multipliers or percentage back on your transactions. Speaking of the multipliers, you would be able to get 4% back at gas and EV charging stations, 3% back on dining and travel transactions. You would also get 2% back on all Costco transactions. If you need a new set of wheels from Costco, you would get 2% back. If you need a new mattress, you would get 2% back. If you need to buy your monthly set of blueberry muffins like this guy, then you would also get 2% back. The next credit card would be the Target Red Card. That's right, good old Target. I know so many people that shop at this store, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of holiday shopping that will be done at this store. So looking into their credit card, it does not have an annual fee, which is great. It does offer a welcome bonus, and that is that you would get $50 back in the form of a credit for any future transaction that you make after receiving your credit card. The multipliers on this credit card is that you would get 5% back on all Target transactions. So that's right, whether it's new bath towels, groceries, or a 50th dog jacket, you would be able to get 5% back on all those transactions that you make at Target. You would also get 2% back on all gas transactions, as well as dining transactions, and then you would get 1% back on everything else. And another nice benefit that you would get with this credit card is that you would get free 2-day shipping, as well as an additional 30 days for any returns. Those are some great credit cards that you can utilize and acquire for your holiday shopping. But let me know down in the comments below, what credit card or credit cards will you be utilizing for your holiday shopping this season? With that being said, if you found any information useful during this video, please hit that subscribe button as well as the like button. Thank you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Adios.